This is IGN. The spoof reboot works because it dares to be stupid. This is your IGN review of The Naked Gun by Eric Adams. The Naked Gun is stupid. I say this with all my heart and in every sense of the word. The 2025 update of the classic police movie spoof starring Leslie Nielsen is idiotic, asinine, and downright preposterous. And its parade of slapstick, sight gags, and deadpan wordplay had me grinning ear to ear. This is a movie that subjects the Oscar-nominated star of Schindler's List to a battery of humiliations that include, but are not limited to, extended scenes of intestinal distress, visual sexual innuendo, and interactions with multiple intentionally janky-looking puppets. I liked all 85 minutes of it, and I can't wait to see it again, just to pick up on any of the punchlines I laughed over or funny little signs I overlooked. Stupid was the name of the game when Nielsen played boneheaded cop Frank Drebin in 6 episodes of the brilliant yet canceled Police Squad and its 3 big-screen spin-offs. And it remains so with Liam Neeson in the role of boneheaded cop Frank Drebin Jr. The fearless foolishness of the new Naked Gun begins with casting Neeson because his name kinda sorta sounds like Nielsen's, and doesn't let up until the last fake pun-laden credit rolls. But as proven by every sweaty genre parody that popped up in Scary Movie's wake, it takes genuine wit, talent, and inspiration to make a good movie out of something this dumb. Frank Jr. may be standing on the just-out-of-frame shoulders of spoof giants David Zucker, his brother Jerry, and their longtime collaborator Jim Abrahams, rest in peace, but he's been hoisted up there by a guy who knows a good idea when he sees one, The Lonely Island's Akiva Schaffer. Okay, hear him out. Schaffer's primary upgrade to the Naked Gun formula is an added visual panache, as opposed to the flat, overlit, TV-like compositions preferred by Abrahams and the Zuckers. His camera swirls and swoops around Frank Jr., his police squad comrade Ed Hawken Jr., played by Paul Walter Hauser, and femme fatale / true crime author Beth Davenport, played by Pamela Anderson. Taking the filmmaking so seriously only serves to underline the glorious absurdities unfolding within the frame. At one point, Neeson is locked in a frenetic punch-up that wouldn't look out of place in a Taken sequel or Taken knockoff, until he pulls the adversary's arms off and starts swinging them like flesh-and-bone nunchucks. This film is absolutely packed with jokes, not all of which call attention to themselves. Several phony corporate logos and silly slogans linger in the foreground and background. Frank is constantly being handed coffee cups from off-screen, with Schaffer and the props department making a meal of the cups' size, where they're deposited, and how they're delivered. It's tempting to overrate The Naked Gun for merely existing, for being itself, or, to paraphrase the musician who's now appeared in all 4 Naked Guns, daring to be stupid. There's nothing truly new about a new release that's built on the bones of a comedy that came out in 1988, but the general lack of major studio comedies of this caliber in theaters in 2025 deepens the impression The Naked Gun leaves. The new Naked Gun may not be a groundbreaking comedy classic, but in its own silly way, it does feel important. It shows that something that's this much of a lark can still be made with craft and care and maximum entertainment value. I hope we get to see more Naked Guns and more movies like them. I hope they're not sentenced to streaming purgatory, because to stop making broad, unabashed comedies of this stripe, or to keep them from coming to a theater near you, now that'd be really stupid. The Naked Gun is unlikely to overshadow the cop movie spoofs that inspired it. Liam Neeson tries his damnedest, but is slightly too steely as the moronic Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr., and most of the big laughs are just modern-day variations on jokes first told in the 1980s, if not earlier. But just because there's a bit of a must on them doesn't mean that they're not funny, and considering the relatively deserted theatrical comedy landscape of 2025, Akiva Schaffer's faithful, unapologetically dumb Police Squad update plays like a big, refreshing gulp from the seltzer bottle. With more jokes than you can possibly catch in a single viewing, The Naked Gun proudly brings cinematic groaners and outrageous sight gags into the 2020s. The Naked Gun's IGN score? 7 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on The Naked Gun, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.